Well, all Trump-Russia House panel hearings have been suddenly canceled. That's weird, right? There are multiple investigations into the Donald Trump-Russia scandal, including the FBI, including a Senate panel, a House panel. The House panel, that's the House Intelligence Committee panel, is led by Republican Devin Nunes, who we now know to be a Trump shill, running to the White House to keep the subject of the investigation, Donald Trump, apprised about what was going on. The committee has suddenly canceled all of the meetings scheduled this week as part of the investigation. Some of the Republicans are saying, well, it's not so much that they're canceled, but they're delayed with no date to which they've been rescheduled, which I call canceled. This investigation has lost all credibility at this point. It's quickly falling apart. Congress has got to wake up here. Devin Nunes should be testifying before the commission, not leading the investigation. And the top Democrat on the House Intel Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff, as well as Democratic leaders in the House and Senate, have called on Nunes to recuse himself. Also, there is a Republican who has called on Nunes to recuse himself. More on that later. Nunes so far is refusing to do so. And somehow Paul Ryan is still willing to publicly say that he's confident in Devin Nunes' ability to carry out this investigation. This is the motto for the basically the way that this has been carried out so far, right? Which is including the Trump lies about who they met with, the really sketchy actions of those supposedly investigating what's going on here. Not evidence of guilt in and of itself, but it makes you seem really guilty. And where there's some smoke, there could be fire. And where there is so much smoke, you can't even see through it, there's a good chance something is burning.
And the thing is, Devin Nunes apologized to his own committee for running to the White House before briefing them.
Yeah.
If he's willing to admit he made a mistake and apologize, you'd think he'd be willing to right the wrong that he made. And the only way he could possibly do that is to recuse himself.
That's the only way at this point. And Republicans at this point really have to be realizing that it's possible that if you really do the investigation objectively, it's going to be bad for Trump. Otherwise, why would we be seeing everything but a full, fair, and objective investigation at this point? And remember that Devin Nunes was in the Trump transition team. The Republicans who were defending him are saying, well, he wasn't an official transition team staffer. He was like an advisor or an aide to the transition team. If those are the semantic games you have to play to defend Devin Nunes, you've already lost. You're putting in charge of the investigation a guy who was in some way a Trump surrogate. I don't know on what planet that makes sense. And you can be sure that if Hillary Clinton's hypothetical administration was under investigation for ties to, just for example, Iran or something like that, these meetings and hearings would be happening round the clock. And we know it would have been the case because it was the case with the email scandal. It was the case with the Benghazi scandal, which of course wasn't actually a scandal. But since it's Trump and the Republicans, it's no big deal. Democrats are just mad they lost.
And luckily, this is also being investigated by the FBI and the Senate Intelligence Committee. It's just too bad, though, because these intelligence committees used to be the last vestige of bipartisanship and independence. And it seems like we've gotten beyond that point at this point.
Yeah, I'll say we have. And folks, there are so-called liberals providing cover here, by the way, saying that Democrats should stop focusing on this. This shouldn't be a partisan issue. Everyone should be focusing on this. Those who are saying that by talking about this, Democrats are in some way hurting their cause, everybody should be incredibly disturbed by what is alleged here. And I don't buy for a second that we should even be approaching this from a partisan lens. Of course, it is because everything in Congress is partisan at this point. And one of the reasons cited for the cancellations that I've been talking to you about, one of the reasons proposed as an explanation as to why Devin Nunes has canceled the Trump-Russia hearings is to keep Sally Yates from testifying. And I'm going to talk to you about that next.